Hi, and welcome to another episode of Unapologetically First Gen. We have a really special guest today. We have Maria Timonina. She is an actress, and you can check her out on The Gringo Hunters, which is on Netflix right now. And I will say is really good because I did start to watch it and really just wanted to stay up all night marathoning it. It was so cool. It's a great concept. And I do want to talk more about that. But before we get into it, can we talk about you?
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be on. My story begins with my parents immigrating from the Soviet Union, so like Russia today, to the United States, and then having me once they came here, and that was like in New York State. After that, my mom got remarried and we moved to the Midwest. So I actually spent most of my childhood in Northeast Ohio, kind of like Cleveland, Pittsburgh area, shout out. And then I quickly figured out that I wanted to become an actress and I wanted to go to college for it. So I went to the BFA acting program at Boston University. Loved my time in Boston, but like for some reason I always wanted to move to Los Angeles. And I didn't know why. I think maybe I heard one Red Hot Chili Peppers song and I was like, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Didn't know what it was about. But yeah, Los Angeles sounds great. So moved out here. I'm based out here, but I am also bi-coastal. I do acting projects all over the country.
We were like basically neighbors while you were in Boston.
Really?
Yeah, we're based right outside Boston.
So I went to Northeastern, so we're clearly rivals.
Oh, obviously, for all our football teams or whatever.
I don't even know what it is that makes us rivals, but I do know there's a rivalry, and I literally think it's. I went to business school, so I think it might just be a business school thing. I have no idea.
Maybe hockey. That's the one sport.
That's
true. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did go to a bean pot, I think is what they're called, the hockey game.
Okay, I did that too.
Yeah, I have a friend who works for Essen, and he got tickets at some point, and he just I happened to run into him one day walking around. I think we were probably headed to the same bar or something, and he was like, "Do you want to go to a hockey game with me?" And I was like, "Sure." I had no idea what we were going to. I was just down for an adventure.
That sounds awesome.
We are sitting first row at a really hard to get to game. I was just how did this happen? But I don't ask questions like that. I'll just go on the adventure, and then years later I'm like, oh, remember that time?
Yeah, I like the way you roll. That's really fun.
Yeah, that was 20-something me. I was just well, yeah, let's just see where the night takes us.
Why not? Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, I think I've been to a couple of hockey games. I like sports. I like watching them, even if it's not my sport. I particularly like tennis and baseball, but I appreciate it. It's fun. The atmosphere is fun. The food, the cheering. I love the cheering. It's great. Great time.
Yeah, and I think Boston's particularly aggressive about our sports.
You could say that. Yeah.
I know. I'm trying not to go on a rant about why I love the Celtics right now.
I mean, I love that.
Yeah, Stacey's a really big basketball fan.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, and I will say I'm going to call it men's basketball and regular basketball.
Thank you. That's what I call it too now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's also with women's basketball and the other basketball.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So what's it been like living in different places in this country?
Yeah. I feel like each city has its own flavor. For me, no matter where I go, I do tend to meet a lot of first gen people, which is lovely. I think we just end up in the same spaces a lot of the time. But I think, the biggest thing has been the lifestyle. So in Boston, being in college, that's its own thing, especially when you're walking a mile in snow and icy streets. While the rest of the city is shut down for emergency. And you're I guess I have a lecture. So doing that. It was a really fun time. I really liked going to college in Boston. And then, being primarily based in Los Angeles, I really enjoyed the makeup of the city because it couldn't be more different. I mean, Los Angeles is a city of neighborhoods and each one has its own history and landmarks and like wonderful things to do. And I really like the variety I get from Los Angeles. But I've been out to Boston since and actually looking at doing some projects out there soon. And I'm really looking forward to it. I miss the East Coast sometimes.
Boston's just so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, like walk anywhere thing.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I happen to be in a neighborhood in Los Angeles that is very walkable. So I'm so grateful for that. I really scored.
Oh, that is really nice. I lived just like on the south of Boston, and it wasn't very walkable. And that was a weird adjustment for me. I remember one time I was like, will there be parking at whatever I got invited to? And they were like, there's always parking. And I was like, well, not in Boston.
Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't get my driver's license until I went to college because
Really?
I grew up in the city. I walked everywhere. Like I was like, I never need to drive. And then I went to UMass Amherst, which is like, if you're on campus, it's pretty walkable. But if you decide to live off of campus, you need a car. You need a car to get around. And I was like, I guess I'm just going to ride my bike everywhere. And my parents were like, no, take our car.
Yeah. I remember they were just sort of like, we're not. No, you can't just ride your bike from like a town over.
Yeah, it took 1 year of living out there. And I was like, I need my driver's license. I did in the summer.
Oh, yeah. I actually have a friend visiting from Massachusetts right now, and she was just telling me, she was like, you need to go to Amherst. Next time you're down, I'm going to take you to Northampton and like all these cute.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it sounds up my alley.
Yeah, if you like tiny little towns, it's just like so nice out there. A couple of years ago, my husband and I did like a little drive around New England, and we just stayed at tiny little towns and bed and breakfasts, and it was just so relaxing and so wonderful.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy your time.
That sounds lovely. Yeah, I'll definitely hit you guys up for recommendations when I go next.
Yeah, I think Stacy will definitely, she lived out there for 4 years, so she'll know the spots. What was that restaurant that had the popovers?
Judy's. Yeah.
I want to go to Judy's.
I want to go to Judy's.
That and my other favorite spot is the Book Mill, and they have these bumper stickers that they sell, and I see them everywhere.
Yeah.
They're books you don't need in a place you can't find. And it describes the bookstore perfectly, but it's next to a little waterfall, and there's a cafe, and there's an art gallery, and it's super cute. We go every time we drive out there, we go have lunch there and walk around and look at all the books we don't need.
Yeah, if you're a reader, you'll end up with like a box of books because it's so many, and it's like, I don't know, it's like not your average bookstore. It's like got different rooms, and it's like, I don't know, like it's almost built like an old house.
It is, yeah. And you think it is an old house.
It might be, yeah. It might even be an old mill. I don't know. But it's really cool.
Yeah,
Man, I want to go out west. I want to go to Judy's and get some books.
I think the three of us are taking a road trip soon.
Sure. With your, yeah.
I'll get my ticket.
And with your friend.
Oh, yeah. No, she would love her. You guys would love her. She's also first show.
We like books and, and food.
Nature.
So you started in New York, and then you guys went to Ohio. And was that because your mom got married?
Yeah. Yeah. We wanted to be closer to our extended step family, which was like Pennsylvania, Ohio area. Yeah, which was really nice to grow up with them. The rest of my family is in Russia. So yeah, that just my parents came over.
Do you ever go back to Russia?
Yeah. It's been a minute. I like to make it a regular thing. Like my dream lifestyle would be that I go and I spend 3 to 4 weeks in Russia, in Eastern Europe, every year. That, as you know, life is busy. That can be a challenge. So hopefully once things calm down over there, we'll be able to go and visit my babushka. She used to visit a lot growing up. She'd come every other year and stay for like 2 or 3 months. And that was really special. So yeah, grateful for that. But I'd really like to go back soon.
I love that. I always think about my grandparents and like my memories
Mhm.
in Portugal, and like those are some of my favorite childhood memories, like just
Aw.
hanging out with the grandparents.
Yeah. Do you guys get to go there often or?
Stacy was there earlier this year. I haven't been in a while. We were supposed to go back in 2020, but
Mhm.
the
Oh,
world
I wonder
shut
what
down. Hmm.
happened.
Just it was like a little pandemic. And then
Oh,
yeah, it was just one of those things is like I had a kid and I got married and then I had another kid and then it's like we bought a house and I just started a business this year and it's just like so hard to pause everything and
Yeah.
take the family of four halfway around the world.
oh,
But I'm like aching to go back. Our grandparents aren't around anymore, but I miss the smell of it. I miss the
oh yeah.
food. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I miss being surrounded by my people.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it was one of those things where I didn't realize like how much I missed it until I went back, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like I was so sad coming back here. I was like, "I don't want to live here anymore." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would actually be really happy on a little island. Um but it just like feels like home.
Yeah. Oh, that's really wonderful. I actually have some friends who have moved to Portugal. It's kind of a trend right now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're super supportive of the expat community.
Mhm.
And I think it's because Portugal doesn't have a huge population and a lot of their population are kind of everywhere around the world.
Uh-huh.
So it's really nice welcoming, others to like come and live their lives and spend money. And
Mhm.
there's like more stability when you have younger people moving in and families moving in. And so I
Yeah.
feel like we'd be welcome.
I mean, gentrification is definitely becoming a problem there though.
Yeah, so I've heard that as well. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And it's like, I think that's a really big problem on the islands. I'm sure it's a really big problem on the continent. I just don't know enough about it. This is different. In big cities like Barcelona, the issues, short-term rentals are really problematic right now. And I'm wondering if Portugal has the same issue. Have you noticed any differences in like treatment sort of based on like the current political climate?
yeah, sure, fair enough. I think, because I look the way I look and I'm white, it is something that I have to remind people that I come from an immigrant family. It's not the first thing they notice about me. Some people can tell I'm Russian right away by my facial structure. Some people are like, oh, she seems a little different. Some people hear my name Maria, especially when I'm California, and assume that I am Hispanic, Latina, whatever. Um, And as far as like difference in treatment, I am very fortunate to have not like personally had someone treat me differently. I think because Russia and Ukraine are at war, there's definitely been like some fear within the
Right.
community. Like the people don't want to be fighting each other. Russians have always considered Ukrainians like brothers and sisters, and we come from the same place, really. And war in all its forms is not something I love, to put it lightly. I think that, when it first started, my mom did have a conversation with me where she was like, you might want to maybe stop telling people we're an immigrant family, maybe stop telling them that Russian. I will say since, I've been in Los Angeles during the immigration raids, and since they've begun, I have felt more on edge and just a little bit wary about the fact that I am someone who is loud and proud about my parents being immigrants. It's something that for the first time in my life, I've been a little bit hesitant to share. And I am of the firm belief, like if they come for one, they come for us all. And
Mhm.
it's important that we protect each other as much as we can and support each other as much as we can. And my mom still has an accent, and so does my dad. And I'm just concerned about the possibilities of what could happen just based on that and based on where they live and how their community might react once ICE raids do finally affect them, because they will, and what that means in terms of quota. And I mean, I did grow up in a small town that was primarily white, and the thing that differentiated us was the fact that my mom had an accent. And as welcoming as Midwest communities can be, she did face prejudice about the fact that English was her second language. And that's kind of crazy given she's also white, blonde, blue-eyed, these things. But I think people are often, there's some people who feel very threatened by anything that's different. And I have a lot of hope for the future. I see a lot of community support, and there are a lot of beautiful initiatives, and there are these organizations that have been in place for many, many, many years who are doing amazing work. So I think there's a lot we can be hopeful for. But yeah, as far as individually, I've felt it. I've been in my feelings a lot, as I'm sure you guys have, and a lot of people listening to this. And yeah, it's a weird time. I reached out to you guys before the ICE raids really started in Los Angeles, and I was so grateful to like be able to have this conversation with you, even after this stuff has begun, because I feel even more in tune with the immigrant and first gen community. And it's just really nice to connect with other people right now who have similar experiences. So yeah.
Yeah, and I resonate so much with what you're saying of like this balance of like white presenting people, like how much do we speak out and how much of it is our responsibility to like, protect our community and like other people that don't have the same privileges as us. And it's really, it's just such a hard balance, especially before we started recording, we were talking about hustle mentality and like, being so hard on ourselves. As a former teacher, I'm like, I want to like save the world and I want to do good. And it's like, how much can you really do though? And also still take care of yourself and be a human and live your life.
Absolutely. I do think there's a balance. I have a lot of friends who work with nonprofits and do work with orgs that have to do with immigrant rights. And something we talk a lot about is it's a marathon, not a sprint, especially with recent changes in the government. And being able to show up consistently is more important than the one-off volunteer day. So, and whatever that means to you, as you know, there are a variety of ways to help. So yeah, I really vibe with that. I understand. And it's taken quite an emotional toll on me personally. I'll speak for myself. I've seen it in others, but definitely myself as well. And learning how to put aside my own feelings to try to get things done towards a more positive future. I think that is something I continue to learn while also honoring like the self-care and the extra sleep and whatever it takes, finding joy when I can and all those good things.
Yeah, we talk pretty consistently about using this platform as people who are very white presenting and being able to use this platform to talk about immigrant issues. And it is really nice to be able to connect with other first geners to say, hey, we're real people who also believe in the American dream and whatever that might mean for someone. And it's really giving humanity back in some ways.
Yeah.
And then my asterisk on this is that sometimes one of our cousins will text us. This just happened last week. Our cousin texted us and said, have you guys been deported yet? Because we're the ones speaking out so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, ha, ha, ha. But it's kind of in the back of my mind sometimes. I'm like, well, we have this tiny little podcast, but like, what if it did get really popular? Are we going to be on a list somewhere? And we do live like you in a state that has a lot of ICE raids. Both Stacy and I also live in communities where our neighbors are not taking it lightly.
I have a question that's on a lighter note. So this has happened to me a lot where I am speaking Portuguese and people ask me if I'm speaking Russian. So
Really?
I'm wondering if that has ever happened to you in reverse.
Oh my gosh. Well, no, but but I do love Portuguese people. Like my first boyfriend was Portuguese, and like I do have a love for the culture. That's funny. I didn't think about like the overlap of sounds, but when you say it, like I kind of hear it a little bit. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've gotten that too.
Oh, okay. It's a thing.
I'm so glad that you asked that question. And now every time you hear a Portuguese person speak, we need you to carefully listen to be like, this could maybe be Russian. And then report back and then like tell us.
Yeah. Oh no, I will actually. Yeah, for sure. I'll text you.
Yeah, because it's not the words itself. I think it's just the accent and the sounds.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, when I hear like OG Russian people speaking Russian, I often think they're just fighting with each other. Do you feel that way about like OG Portuguese people in the intonation of everything?
It depends. We're from the islands, and I feel like some of the islands sound more aggressive.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think, like, I was trying to think of, like, San Miguel is the bigger island, and they have a very distinct accent. Though I feel like everyone from San Miguel that's listening is like, we're not the ones with the accent. But now I'm wondering, what would I consider their accent?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like they maybe hold on to the vowels longer.
Mm.
Are there like different accents, different Russian accents?
Well, yeah. So there's a lot of different Slavic accents, right? So actually, I'm on a project that hasn't yet been announced. But in it, I was hired to do a Slavic accent, and mine was distinct because it was like a mix of Macedonian and Bulgarian, but also a little bit of my Russian made it in there. So, that's gonna be a really fun one. But it was something where I was like, yeah, the people who are listening are going to hear like the snippets of these different things, but they are distinct. And it is in like both the placement, the sounds of the vowels, and something I had to figure out was there are certain Slavic accents that are better with the TH blend than others. And I had to pick and choose like, okay, what applies and doesn't. Yeah, very fun. But yeah, I think like the Slavic accents are all similar. Like I can read Bulgarian because it's the Cyrillic alphabet, but I might translate it a little wrong. It just depends. Yeah.
Oh,
That kind of sounds similar to how I feel about Spanish as a
really?
person.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely read Spanish. I can understand almost all Spanish. Although what we found out by watching your show is that not the swear words. Apparently, I neither of us knew any of the swear words, or like slang. I feel like all of my Spanish is like Spanish 4 in high school.
Well, I learned Spanish from watching telenovelas, so like,
right.
So my Spanish is like, TV G rated.
Yeah.
Maybe PG-13 because we watched like the ones that would come on at like 8 p.m. It was like 8 and then 9 o'clock. You got a new one.
Yeah. I feel like the phrase "you bastard" comes up a lot.
We're going to get really good. This is like, this show's just going to teach us new slang that we'll have to implement into our regular lives.
Yeah, that's so fun.
We'll use that one next time there's an ice raid around.
Yeah.
Like towards the ICE agents.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe it'll trip him up a little bit. You never know.
Right. Or I'll end up getting pulled in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, what a scary time. Yeah, exactly.
Tell us about your show, because I feel like the premise is so interesting in this current political climate.
Yeah, so this show has been in development for 2 years. The timing of the release, how could you plan that? They did not. And, the synopsis of the show is it's based on a true story written about in the Washington Post by Kevin Seif about a special investigative unit based in Mexico that is not formally called but nicknamed the Gringo Hunters because their primary job is to hunt American criminals that come over the border illegally and try to hide in Mexico. So it's not about them immigrating. It's truly like murderers, etc., who are wrongfully thinking that Mexico is a lawless land, that they can just like get away with stuff. No, they can't. Not with these guys on the trail. So it's a very fun show. It was an immense pleasure to be a part of. Like every single thing about this opportunity has been really wonderful, and I've really lucked out. Yeah.
Oh, congrats. That's so exciting.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was watching it and I'm like, I wonder like what the statistics are between like how many fugitives are going from the US to Mexico and then how many actual fugitives are going from Mexico to the US. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. People forget. It happens both ways, right? But yeah, it was really wonderful. We got to film in Mexico City. So I spent like a total of 3-ish weeks there. It was my first time in Mexico City. I'd been to Mexico before, but in Mexico City is just like such a gorgeous place. The art, the parks, the food, the people, like it was so fun. And this particular production, so there are 3 production companies. So Ron Howard at Imagine Entertainment produced it, as well as Woo Films and Red Rum. And Red Rum is like the boots on the ground production company, and co-owner Adrian Grunberg, he show ran and directed us. And because I'm in the pilot, I got to like be directed by him in Mexico City. And yeah, it was just a dream. Everyone on that production is just so talented. They're at the top of their game. I mean, Red Rum especially, like they're helping produce some of like the biggest projects, and like most people wouldn't even know, like they helped produce F1 and just a ton of big stuff. If you look at the credits, you're probably going to see if they had anything to do with like filming in Mexico, Red Rum. And yeah, they're just like such wonderful people. Cause like I had heard other friends. So for context, I've been an actor for a minute now, and this was my first big union guest star booking, which is like a really big deal in like for me, and a big deal for like where I am now in my career. It's now it's considered a big enough credit that it's like, okay, I'm playing a little bit different game right now. So that's really exciting and fun and special. And to be doing my guest star, I had asked other people, like, what was your first like good one? Even if it was like a co-star, where a co-star you have just a couple lines, like they're the valets, the waiters on shows. And I had friends who said, yeah, it was a horrible experience. And after spending,
Oh,
oh yeah, like I've heard some like stories where like, oh, so and so who was the lead, out of probably not malice, but maybe frustration, called me out on something, an innocent mistake I made because I was inexperienced on set, or they just like showed up and no one was kind to them, and turns out no one got them from their trailers, so they just picked someone who was a background actor to come and step up and say their lines, so they lost the job because no one had come to get to take them on set. I mean, I've heard every variety of negative job experience can happen. And that's why I am so extra grateful, because like Red Rum is amazing to work with. Adrian was amazing to work with. Imagine and Woo were also amazing to work with. It was just like, couldn't have been better. I mean, as an example of of how cool they are. When I first got the job, I signed a media release because they knew that they might need to pull some photos from my Instagram to use onto the show. And during post-production, my dear little kitty passed away. And I posted on Instagram, like a photo of me with him, my favorite photo with him, and just like sharing, like, that it was emotional, a little memorial post for him. Come to find out, that photo is one of the ones they used for the show. So the first photo you see of me playing Alice is on the evidence screen in the police station with me holding a cat. That is my beef stew before I adopted him.
oh,
Yeah. So very special. And no one's explicitly said, hey, we did this to be nice, but I just know the kind of people they are. And that was really special. So I really appreciate it.
oh, your cat made the show too.
I know, he's a guest star too, just like mommy.
Oh, oh gosh. So sorry
Yeah.
about your cat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. But film is forever. So, I mean, what a cool way to memorialize him, Like, how many people get to say they did that? Like, it's really
Yeah, that is so
yeah.
sweet. I'm so glad that you had such a good experience, because
Thank you.
that sounds, I mean, that's such a tough industry.
Yeah. And I had promised myself, because I've been doing this for a while, and I was like, okay, this is something that takes up a lot of my time, a lot of my money, a lot of my energy. I've made personal sacrifices. I've made sacrifices in relationships. I mean, there's a lot I had to do to get here, and I didn't know if I would like it, because I've done a ton of non-union stuff. I've been in a lot of films and web series and you name it. But I didn't know for sure that once I got on a big union set on a Netflix show that I would like it. Like, let's say the experience was good. What if I just didn't enjoy the work at that
Right.
level? And I've been pouring years into this, right? So it was kind of scary to be like, well, if I don't like it, I promised myself I would quit. I would just quit, because I was also challenging the universe. I'm a spiritual person, and I kind of made a little like, hey, all right, guys, if this isn't for me, make sure I don't enjoy it or I don't have a good experience. And lo and behold, I had a great experience. Could not have been better. Set the bar so high that like I have to like kind of, get my expectations in line for the next one. But and I loved doing it, and I love watching it. And yeah, I also am just so proud of the show itself. I think it's a cool show, man, and I like the politics and I like the acting, and the stories have the right balance of like fun and drama for me, and I'm a fan too. So, yeah, it's been great.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and
so cool.
everybody, all the actors are like super talented on it.
Yeah, these actors, these lead actors are some of the most famous and celebrated actors in all of Mexico. I mean, Harold Torres, he's our number one on the show. He has been nominated for 4 different Ariel Awards. And if you're listening and don't know what that is, it's a Mexican Oscar. Hector, he is Kotze. I'm sorry, Hector, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He just got nominated for an Ariel Award for Pedro Padrama, which is also a Red Rum production. Like they're all just, I mean, Myra Humacio, who I have all of my scenes with, she's our female lead, and she's an incredible actress. She's an incredible director. She's working on some like really wonderful films that are being celebrated at international festivals right now. And she's been starring in other shows as well. And they're so talented. It like really made me go, oh, okay, like I want to up my game too. And they taught me a lot about how to be a number one on set, because like I dream and plan to be a series regular myself one day, and they are leaders on set, and the way they led with like such joy and empathy and like silliness, like there was just like a lot of play. And even in the heaviest scenes, like no spoilers, but I have a heavy scene at one point in the pilot, and even then, like you wouldn't know it, but between takes, we were like laughing and dancing and like playing around with the props, and it's just a good time. Yeah,
I love that.
Oh.
Because, like, at the end of the day, like, that's what acting is. It's supposed to be fun. It's entertainment. Like, so
Yeah.
it's nice to know that I really, side tangent, but I'm really into like, culty things. So I watch a lot of cult documentaries and
Yeah.
just like watching.
But learning about them, not participating.
Yeah.
To be clear.
Was that not clear?
You're like, I'm really into cults.
I am really into cults. Where am I going with this? No, but I just recently watched the documentary. I forget what it's called. It's on Netflix, but it was about the mom who like created the like kids TikTok group. And like she was like the manager for the TikTok group. And
I know about this.
it just, they're basically making these kids work like, 12-hour days because they're not protected by the same laws as people in Hollywood, or just like wild, like this quantity over quality game. It's nice to like hear that you're having fun and you're creating something quality, and it's there for people's entertainment and not to like ruin kids' lives.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do consider those reality-based shows and those YouTube-based shows, that's those day in the lives and family things, to be like more in the reality TV space rather than scripted, like this, like my Netflix show is scripted. And just a little inside baseball. California is doing a lot to pass laws to further protect those kids and like make sure that the money is going towards them and that there are some more like rights and representation for them. I might be starting a rumor here, but I think at one point there was even discussion about like figuring out how to get those like kids in those YouTube vlog families to also have a way into the actors union, purely to like receive. Again, I might be starting a rumor with that, but there's been conversation around like, how can we help those kids? And I've seen that stuff for YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm on YouTube all day long. I mean, there's a conversation in the industry going on about YouTube and how like Netflix's new head of not new head of content, but their head of content said kind of their new initiative is not so much competing with studios and other streamers. They find themselves in competition with YouTube and TikTok for attention. So I do find that fascinating.
That'll be interesting to kind of see where everything is going. Wrapping up, I think. We always ask all of our guests, what does it mean to be unapologetically you?
Yeah. And I really love that question. It's so sweet. To be unapologetically Maria Timonina, I think in my personal growth journey, I'm learning how to be kinder to myself. And as you've spoken about on your breaking the hustle mentality episode, I'm learning how to fill my life not just with the wonderful work I get to do and the things that support it, but also the fun, the family, the friends, and continuing to prioritize that, even when it feels hard, or even when it feels like, ooh, if I can just get these emails done, I'll scratch that itch, but that itch will never be scratched sometimes. So to do that, and keep being confident. I also, in this, I've been describing this show coming out for me personally as like my butterfly moment. And I really am excited to embrace this next chapter of myself as an actor and an artist, because up until now I didn't know for sure I could do this. And to be unapologetically me also means owning that I can, and I did, and I will again. And even saying that, I'm like a little bit like, oh, I'm a little embarrassed to say that, but I'm owning it. So yeah.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
listening to you. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. And
I
you just met,
know.
so.
We met like an hour ago, and I'm like, no, I'm proud of you. You know what I was thinking actually when you were talking? I was, because I'm a mom. I was like, your mom must be so proud of you. Was literally what I was thinking when you were talking about your journey.
So sweet. And she's going to listen to this, and I'm not going to tell her you said that. And I know she's going to text me and be like, I am.
Yeah, she must be so proud of you. You've done this amazing thing. You've worked so hard. And I'm personally so excited to see where your career ends up and what you end up doing.
Thank you.
I know. Come back to this podcast when you're rich and famous.
I'd love to. Let's make sure that happens, and then I'm coming back, baby. And I'll come back even if I'm not rich and famous. How about?
Thank you so much for coming on Unapologetically First Gen. If you haven't already, check out Maria's show, Gringo Hunters, on Netflix. It's definitely worth a watch. And thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.